They have been avoiding each other for years, but Amir Khan is finally down to fight Kell Brook this weekend.
It's a main event that will thrill you, excite you, and it will bring the thrill of victory along with the agony of defeat.
Khan and Brook have long been touted for a big dust-up, but have never managed to put pen to paper on a deal. Now that both fighters are at the ends of their careers, Khan and Brook have put their egos aside at the negotiating table to give boxing fans what they've been after for so long.
Knowing that this is going to be one of the biggest fights in Britain gives you that extra push as well.
Khan hasn't been in action for over 2 years, having last beat Billy Dib in a farcical fight back in the summer of 2019. Before that, he lost a world title fight at welterweight against pound-for-pound star Terence Crawford, who he trained with in Nebraska ahead of his clash with Brook. And it was Crawford who Brook last fought in November 2020, when Bud stopped Special K in the 4th round of their Las Vegas matchup.
And the world's gonna say, you know, me, go in there and destroy him.
Khan and Brook are both clearly past their best, but they're both still talented, and this showdown between two British speedsters might well result in a fun and engaging encounter.
And now, after years of waiting for the most bitter rivalry of this modern era.
So, who will win the Great British Battle between former boxing world champions? Will it be Amir Khan or Kell Brook? Amir Khan started to box aggressively when he was just 11 years old, winning a silver medal when he was 17 years old in the lightweight at the Athens Olympics. He made his debut against David Bailey in Bolton in July 2005 and knocked him out in the first round.
Amir Khan, the new young star of British boxing.
Khan then went on to score 18 wins as a pro, before he lost to Columbia's Brady Prescott in the first round by KO upset.
The biggest stunners in British boxing.
He has temporarily silenced his critics by defeating Mexican legend Marco Antonio Barrera 6 months later. Khan won the WBA super lightweight title from Andreas Kotelnik in July 2009. He went on to beat Poli Malignaggi and Marcos Maidana in an 8-bout winning streak that stretched 3 years, before adding the IBF strap when he scored a 5th round knockout of Zeb Judah in July 2011.
This is going to be a knockout victory for Amir Khan.
But Khan then lost to Lamont Peterson in December 2011, but was reinstated as WBA and IBF light welterweight champ after the American failed a drugs test. 7 months later, Khan would go on to lose to Danny Garcia on a technical knockout, but kept fighting on, beating Carlos Molina, Julio Diaz, Luis Collazo, Devon Alexander and Chris Algieri, before going down to Canelo Alvarez in May 2016, after stepping up to middleweight. Amir Khan's WBO World Welterweight title fight with Terence Crawford ended in bizarre fashion when he was pulled out by his corner after a low blow. Brook began his career more than 17 years ago, and that's why he has 42 fights under his belt at the age of 35. He ran his record to 32-0 before receiving his first major title fight, a bout with Sean Porter for the IBF welterweight belt. Brook won that bout by majority decision, and he defended the title 3 straight times with knockouts of opponents within the first 6 rounds. Those victories led to a big payday as he moved up to middleweight to face Gennady Golovkin. Brook lost by 5th round TKO, and then he lost his welterweight title almost a year later against Errol Spence Jr. Brook has not fought since being knocked out by Terence Crawford in November of 2020. Despite both fighters being way past their best, Brook vs Khan is one of the most intriguing fights of the decade so far, and it goes way deeper than the needle. The fight itself has fans completely split, and it's clear that age and condition will play a big part in the result.
Kell's got more in the tank and more left than Amir Khan.
At various times throughout their equally up and down careers, a solid argument could have been made for either man, but the formula has always been the same: Kell Brook's timing vs Amir Khan's speed.
Get an edge to Khan because I was witnessing how hard he was training.
Brook's finest night came in the US in 2014 when he went to California and outpointed the excellent American Shawn Porter in a grueling fight to become the IBF welterweight champion. He also showed great heart in facing the much bigger man in Golovkin and then the dangerous Spence in back-to-back fights which almost ruined him. Amir Khan also possessed an elite skill set that saw him look untouchable against elite fighters. Marcos Maidana, Devon Alexander, Poli Malignaggi, Zeb Judah and Luis Collazo were all picked apart by King Khan. At Khan's best, he had immense hand speed, good size and reach for the lower weights, the ability to overwhelm opponents, and most underrated of all, incredible heart.
Khan will be very sharp early on with his speed and his boxing ability.
He's always looked at his best fighting in quick bursts and then escaping before his opponents is set to throw a counterpunch.
So this is my time now to put him in his place, and
this tactic has frustrated slower, larger opponents. Khan even had some success against Canelo Alvarez before the inevitable happened.
I've worked so hard, like sweated buckets and buckets just to get the win for these people.
For Brook's part, patience should be the name of the game, even allowing some early rounds to slip, but slowly working his way into the fight with his solid jab. It will also be interesting to see how Khan takes the jab, if there is any of the old frailties with Khan.
We train for 12 rounds, but if the stoppage is there, we're gonna go for it.
But ultimately, the Danny Garcia blueprint is best to follow for Brook. Khan is most vulnerable when throwing punches.
I truly believe that I end this fight by knockout.
Catch and counter or slip and rip aren't really viable counters due to the speed advantage, but if Brook can land something as Khan is throwing, this could be devastating.
It's going to be fireworks. This has been a long time coming. We do not like each other.